Greetings, everyone. This is Leon Francis 60 here, and I'm here to do another review on a war game, miniatures. But before we start on the review, how many of you remember the 90s? I do. I remember fondly. I remember neon colored sunglasses, neon colored water guns, obscure cartoons that's trying to rip off other cartoons from the same decade, the console wars of the 90s that is still felt today. But I do remember one thing that was really standing out in the 90s, the heyday of the sci-fi television, like TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. But I remember one show that stuck out from the rest. That was Babylon 5. I remember this one that came out in the 90s when I was in probably a 7th grade when I first watched this. Yeah, this was the first that used lightweight 3D objects. Its special effects was really good and its story. And this series was pretty good. I recommend watching it. Unfortunately for the merchandise, it's not that many. There were model kits, toys, but official video games has been cancelled. I remember Sierra was making them back in the 2000. There are mods out there that you can play. I might review some of them in a later date. But there's also official board games like the one I'm going to review right now. So here it is. I bought this in eBay for like $100. Still in its wrapping. And we're gonna do an unboxing opening. It's called Babylon 5 Wars. It's basically a space game. It's made by Agents of Gaming. It's made from 1997. And you can play like Third Alliance, Centaur Republic, the Narn Regime, and the Minbari Federation. You got like 3 fighters each for this game. We got this beautiful artwork of the Omega class destroyers. And let's see what we got inside. We got some D6 and D20 dice, I believe. And we got some stands, plastic stands, pewter miniatures, all fighters, all big capital ships or shuttlecraft. And we got a few tokens in there too. And yes, this is the fan club. You gotta send this in back in the day to be a member. There are no internet back then. The internet was still in its infancy. And here's the tokens. Look at that. And turn hex and several numbers. And this is the hex that you're gonna be using it for. This game is kind of like classic BattleTech, and you got a lot of hex in here for this miniature. And you can see the manual is very thick. I'm still reading the manual because it's right there, and you can see how thick. And you got tokens here for the ships. You got some very decent um, cardboard cutouts of ships, like several fighters. You can stack them if you want. So there's a rules for that. You have some big ships, like all the big ships right there. Mostly first season stuff, so you can use that as a rule. And jump gate tokens. I don't know if there's any shadow vessels in there. There's the Raiders and the Star Furies. And over here is the manual. And this is where all the rules you're gonna need from this game. Tells everything from the continents, the chapters, and a little bit of introduction. They pretty much add a little bit of lore. And you can see the artwork over here. Look at that gorgeous Star Fury in its art ink format. It's well drawn, very impressed. And you can see some clips from the old shows. Mostly, I think this is from the season 1 and maybe in the beginning TV movie. And here is another ink drawing. And here are the chapter 1. They go like 4 chapters, like a turn of for the combat system and movement and maneuvers for ships, and I believe there's also power management in here, because this is basically kind of like I said, it's like a battle tech in space. And for one thing, I very impressed with this book is they add really more artwork on the book, but I'm still reading it right now. So here are like the maneuvers, how would they go, and the power management. So it's really, and here it is. I'm still stuck on this. I'm still trying to read as much as I can. And there's like combat procedures, sequences, and the firing arcs, and later there's like snippets of from views on each races of the factions, the main 4 factions. They're like the thing, and there's the Starfleet Thunderbolt. I want that model, and it's just the hyperspace drawing. But there's like the history, like I said, there's like a little bit of history for each faction in here, like a little point of view. There's one part that I really love. It's from the Earth Minbari Wars perspective, from the Minbari faction thing perspective, that they really respect the fight. They're really arrogant in their way against the Terrans, you could say, and the humans in this thing. They call them the Earthers. And here are the classes of the ships. They have like, each has class of ships, and from the heavy cruisers to fighters. And here are like the snippets. There's like the White Star. That's an ISA ship, and previously Ranger ship. And here's the little snippets, like I tell, like the history. I read this one. It was pretty impressive from a Minbari warrior perspective during the Earth Minbari War. And they're pretty like arrogant in their thing, but they also know they gotta respect this guy because they're very dangerous. And here are the Centauri and the Narn. Each have their own little story, but there's also scenarios will come later on the line. Yeah, I haven't read the Centauri and the Narn yet, but it's very interesting. And you can see that's from the scene from the TV series. They kind of mix them up into, and what you see in here, these are like weapon system. Each have their own weapon systems. Like you can mark it. They identify it like little stats. Right now, currently this first edition has only fighters on it. The second edition, from what I So they got rid of the Minbari and Earth Alliance fighters. They only put Narn and Centauri. They just added 3 more ships on those things. That's kind of suck. And here's the Raiders. Yeah, they have like Raiders and a little bit scenarios you can play. And like big ships like the Agamemnon ships, like the Omega class and the Hyperion class heavy cruisers and all that stuff. You can see from this artwork. And you got this. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this thing much as I can in there. And damn, they really packed the artwork on these things. More artwork here. You get like points, I believe. This could be the point system. I haven't read far, and this is where you can photocopy it for your own use. And those are the weapon systems that you can identify with. And there's like the stat line for the fighters. Fighters and ships and shadows have different stat lines. I think the fighters is the one to get you easily in there. So I think that's it for this manual. It's pretty good. If you get a chance, get it. Play this game. And here are the miniatures. I finally painted them, and this is what you're gonna get. They're like 3 on each sides. The Bari, the Earth Alliance, the Centauri, and the Narn regime. For painting them, it took me only a day. I managed to just get whatever information I can get. The Minbari was a lot easier for me to paint because I just used some GW and Vallejo paint, and that's it. The Narn regime, it's alright, same thing. The Centauri, it's kind of what I did. I tried doing much as I can, especially the alien symbols, but I decided that I'll do what I can. The Earth Alliance, their color schemes are somewhat either grayish silver, or I cannot tell, but I managed to pull it off anyway. And this is the set. I know what. Just be careful if you do have this. Some of the stands are so brittle that already broke part of the Earth Alliance fighter, so I have to magnetize it. So, and this is the fighter. So I might go through the ships once I start study on learning how the basics of this gameplay is, and I might even just do an alpha strike version of this this game, just like house rule it. So I do love hex, but I'm more into non-hex games for space games. And I just want to get rid of micro management on the ship. But this could be actually put into full. I know there's like people who are just adapting full trust. That's another space game that it's out there for Babylon 5. There are people that are doing that, and I haven't got to there, and people are just 3D printing because there is no official Babylon 5 game like that. That's it's basically a dead media. The creators trying to get the show running, but it's not happening. I hope there's like I said earlier in the review, there's like a mod for games. There's no official. I wish they would re-release this for someone takes over, like probably Fantasy Flight or Gale Force 9, and just give it a new re-release, and probably actually they can actually do an X-Wing version of this game. I would not be surprised if that happens. They already did it with Battlestar and Star Trek, but I would just love to see someone re-release this officially, and you could buy the miniatures again, and that will be like a dream come true. It will probably breathe some life on the Babylon 5 universe, and that will be very fun if only the suits can realize the money potential on this. I think this is my review on the Babylon 5 Wars. Please leave a comment if and leave a subscribe and just leave a like on it. This is Delion Francis 60 signing off.